Can't have it all set like that.
Welcome to SUPRS Live. This is the Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, and we are racing Supermodifieds at Oswego Speedway, the home of the Supermodifieds. Tonight, it's a regular 45. What's regular about it? Well, it's just a normal, standard format, 10-lap heat races, a 45-lap feature based on the great days of Oswego Speedway when they ran the same format with handicapped heat races, and a driver had to qualify out of his heat race to get his handicap back to go into the feature, and he was still handicapped and generally didn't start any better than 12th if he was one of the top dogs. Tonight we've got an 8-car field, so we'll take the top 2 out of each heat race, and the top 4 cars will be handicapped into the feature. Supermodified sim racing at its best using the rFactor platform. We're so happy you could join us here tonight. If you're just tuning in on SUPRS Live, we appreciate you going to supers.net. While you're there, you'll want to make sure that you check out the point standings, because after last week's mid-season championship double points event, everybody in the field that's registered and running right now switched positions except for your leader, Rob Warren. Warren stays on top of the series with 4 race wins and 635 points. Keith Powell and Kyle Clark have been going back and forth all season long, and last week Powell came home in second place and moved up to second place in the point standings. So he moved past Clark by 1 position and is 69 points out of first. And you can guarantee that tonight's 45-lapper, you'll see those 3 guys going at it. Rob Warren in the black and blue first-to-finish race servers number 35. Keith Powell will be driving the orange, yellow, and blue Mayfield missile, sponsored by Icings on Top, part of the CPR Motorsports team. And Kyle Clark in the Silver Bullet Walkers Cleaners and Tuxedo, sponsored number 38. But you also want to keep your eyes on Steady Steve Callahan, Derek Backus, and Nelson Rodriguez back in competition tonight, as well as Carl Becker. So a lot of good racers out there tonight, and honestly, everybody within the top 5 positions still has a mathematical shot, although it's probably down to the top 3 with only 5 races to go after tonight's 45-lapper. Well, if you're wondering who we are and what we do and why we're talking to you, we're the ultimate Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, the original Supermodified Sim sanction, started in 2004 as a way to give back to the Supermodified community and help injured Supermodified drivers through the Dion Parrish Memorial Benevolent Fund for Supermodifieds. If you race with Supers, it's a $25 donation to race for the Goldcrest Championship points and awards throughout the season, but all of your money goes into that benevolent fund to help injured Supermodified drivers. For those of you that are Supermodified fans tuned in, got some great news. Jeff Russell, who was critically injured in 2010 at the Bull Ring in Las Vegas, has made some great strides of late and is after a horrible traumatic brain injury, is now able, 8 years down the road, to have somewhat normal conversations and is cognitive now of people around him. A great update by his mom, Marilyn, and stepdad, Bob. And so happy to hear that, as we've supported Jeff on his road to recovery since 2010. Fans, don't forget, you can do the same. If you just want to make a donation to the Dion Parrish Memorial Benevolent Fund, you can do so. Go to supers.net, click the donate tab, and rest assured that all of that money doesn't go to, none of the money goes to the racers that enjoy sim racing as a hobby. It all goes to injured Supermodified racers and their families. I want to say congratulations to our real Supermodified winners from this past week. It was an exciting week of racing at Jukasa Motor Speedway, the return of the International Supermodified Association to that Nels Corners, Ontario, Canada track, a formerly Cayuga Speedway. Dan Bowes picked up his first ISMA win. The Byfield Bullet, Dan Bowes, picking up the win. Very first ISMA feature at Jukasa. And then just like has been the case of late in Supers, with only a couple of guys winning, only a couple of guys have been winning at Oswego Speedway, the home of the Super Modifieds. Dave Shirley Jr. picked up the win again at Oswego on the 14th. And at Star Speedway in the 350 Small Block Super Modifieds, Steve Dufili, Vic Miller's nephew, picked up the win at Star. Lee was off this last week. Coming up this weekend, you'll want to check our schedule because we've got some big races coming up before we take our summer break. Saturday, the 10,000 to win Mr. Super Modified event at Oswego Speedway is the big one on the docket. And then coming up in 2 weeks will be the first leg of the real Super Modified Triple Crown, the High Miler Super Modified Nationals at Sandusky Speedway. That's an International Super Modified Association race. So we're talking about Super Modified, Super Modified, Super Modifieds, and we're going to get ready to race right here, right now at Oswego Speedway, the home of the Super Modified.